Hey, it's Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Omar Figueroa and his up-and-coming bout against Adrian the Problem Broner. So when I look at this fight, there's a part of me that just kind of thinks that some people in boxing don't want Adrian Broner in boxing anymore. Because honestly, Figueroa possesses all the attributes that would give Adrian Broner problems. So let me just run down on just who this guy is in terms of fight style. I don't want to say he's rugged because he's got too much experience to call him rugged, but he's a brawler. He's a brawler and he likes to get in close and he throws a lot of punches. Now, Adrian does not do well against brawlers. I mean, we've seen it with Maidana. We've seen it with anybody who would just step to Broner. I mean, even Paulie Malignaggi, who doesn't even hit hard, stepped into Broner's chest and was just firing off. So he doesn't do well with brawlers. He likes boxers who keep their distance so that he can operate and he can press them and walk them down. And Figueroa is not that dude. He's not going to give you distance. He's not going to give you time to think. He's not going to give you space to operate. He's going to get in close and he's going to go to work. Now, the next thing that I would say gives Adrian Broner, as we all know, a lot of problems is anybody who throws a lot of punches. And Omar Figueroa throws a lot of punches. And they're short punches as well. Again, he likes to get in close. They're short punches. One thing Adrian doesn't like is to be smothered. Because the way he fights, it doesn't benefit him to be smothered. He stays in that Philly shell. I mean, he hardly ever does anything else. And when he does come out of that Philly shell, he'll just do a high guard and try to walk you down. Well, again, that's not going to really work because Omar Figueroa is going to be right in his face the whole entire time. And if you're just going to keep your arms up like this, or you're going to do this the whole time, they're short punches. This is more effective, you know, when you're covering up like this in that Philly shell. That's more effective when somebody's firing from long range. When they're up close and personal, it's not the most effective thing in the world to do, to be honest with you. So you're still going to have some problems. Another thing that Omar Figueroa likes to do is double up on his hooks, double up on the shovel hooks, double up on the uppercuts. Basically, he does all the things that will not allow you to get comfortable, not allow you to get set, not allow you to fire back. So Adrian Broner's overall fight game now, as he's evolved, has pretty much just turned into a counterpuncher. And he'll just fire off the two a lot. Now, if he feels comfortable and if he's winning, he'll do a little bit more, and he might even be a little bit more offensive. But for the most part, he's kind of just morphed into this person who's just going to be solely a counterpuncher, as opposed to what he was in the first half of his career. But then again, he was fighting lesser opponents. So what do you expect? But that's just not going to work. I don't care if he does the high guard. I don't care if he does the Philly shell. Neither one of those are going to work against somebody who's not going to give you space to operate. Because once again, even if you do the Philly shell really is more effective when you have a little space because you're going to fire off that too. Now, yeah, you can throw a shovel hook and you can do some short hooks in there, but not with somebody who's doubling up on both sides. Again, it's still just going to be difficult. Now, another thing that's going to give Adrian Broner a lot of problems is the fact that this dude is just rugged. He's durable, and he's just going to keep coming at you. He's going to keep pressing the action. He's going to keep pressing forward. You know, he's going to put his head down, and he's going to move forward. And there's not going to be a whole lot for you to do because, you know, Adrian doesn't like to back up. He can't fight backing up. He can, but it's not his safe place. He's not very comfortable doing. He's very athletic, so he can do it, and I have seen him do it. Does he choose to do that? No. Does he want to do that? No, he doesn't. Especially since, you know, I don't exactly know what Adrian's overall future plans are, but if he's hoping to get really back in the mix, because right now he's only surviving just because of his name, and his name more so out the ring than what it is inside the ring. I wouldn't necessarily call him a joke. I still think he's a very tough B fighter. But and if you can beat him, and I mean, if you can really beat him, because even when people beat him, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Only person who really, really put a beating on him was Sean Porter and Maidana. Sean Porter fights, back then he fought a little bit more dirty, elbows and headbutts and shoulders and knees and toes. I don't know, like he fought a little bit more anything goes. He's been, he refined himself throughout his career, but when they fought, Sean Porter was definitely a rugged, rough and tough type of fighter. And then you have Maidana, who's a rugged, rough and tough type of fighter. Omar Figueroa, in my personal opinion, is kind of like a Maidana who throws more punches and has more of a game plan, as opposed to Maidana, who just goes in there and I'm just going to wreck you. I'm just going to throw punches and wreck you until either you succumb, you quit, referee stops it, your people throw in the towel, like whatever it takes. I'm just going to throw everything at you, the kitchen sink at you. I feel like there's a whole lot more thought process going on with Omar Figueroa than Maidana. And again, that's going to give, Adrian Broner some problems, because I'm not going to say he doesn't do well with thinkers, but I think he needs somebody who's going to give him space. I think he needs somebody who's going to give him a slower pace. And Omar Figueroa is not going to give him a slow pace. He's not going to give him time to think. He's not going to give him space. There's not going to be like a filling out round. It's not round 1 and 2 are not going to be fillers. No, he's going to get right at it. He's going to run across that ring and he's going to get right at it from the jump. And that's literally what he's going to do. He's going to press Adrian back to the ropes of the corner. Adrian, and he's going to try to stay in the center of the ring, which he should, because the last place he needs to be is against the ropes or in the corner with Omar Figueroa. So he needs to be in the center of the ring just so that he can give his own self the space to back up, as opposed to just being backed up by Figueroa, because he won't take a step back. He's only going to go forward and going to go through you. So I think this is going to be a very tough fight. I think it's a good thing and I think it's a bad thing for Adrian Broner. I think it's a good thing for Adrian because he really needs to know what he's got left. And this is the type of opponent who will let you know what you got left. Because if you don't have anything left, he's going to take whatever left you have away from you. And if you have something left, this is not a guy who's going to lay down. So either way, you're going to know what you have left. But it is a bad thing because honestly, I just see Omar Figueroa having every characteristic that gives Adrian Broner problems. I don't see this being an easy fight. I honestly don't even see him like dancing around or trying to do like what he did with Pacquiao, because Figueroa throws a lot more punches, and he was dealing with an old Pacquiao as opposed to a younger Pacquiao, and Figueroa throws a lot more punches. Yeah, and Pacquiao has he doesn't have a problem fighting at a distance. Figueroa throws distance out the window. He's up close. He's personal with it, and I just don't know. Now, I don't know what Adrian's been working on. I've seen him hitting mitts, but honestly, all that mitt work, if you're not going to throw the volume of punches at your opponent that you're throwing on those mitts, I don't know why you're wasting your time doing it, other than hand-eye coordination. It's just a waste of time. But overall, he's really going to need to go for a knockout just to get Omar Figueroa off of him. Omar Figueroa is definitely going to go for a knockout. Dude's got like 28 knockouts or something like that. No, 19 knockouts, 28 fights, something like that. So he's not a walk in the park. I think this is a good fight because Adrian Broner's never, in my opinion, outside of the Pacquiao fight, never been in a boring fight. So I think this is going to be a good fight either way. But it could be a send-off. It could definitely be. I'm not ruling out the fact that this fight could be a send-off. I will be doing a fight breakdown for Adrian Broner to say, what he brings to the table. And he does bring a lot to the table. It's just, right now I'm focused on Omar Figueroa. But he does bring a lot to the table. And he does bring a lot of the skills and the attributes that it takes to actually win the fight. So